So there's the story about this illegal immigrant that killed this girl in Iowa. This was getting national news coverage before they had a suspect or had a confession or anything. I didn't follow it early on. I've heard rumors that the mainstream media, because it was on national news, and the mainstream media had picked it up because they thought the boyfriend did it. He was apparently one of the prime suspects, and he's like a 20-year-old white guy from the Midwest, so exactly the kind of person that the mainstream media would love to see perp walked into a courthouse and accused of murder. And then, of course, their worst nightmare happens, and it ends up being an illegal immigrant that kills her. So they're scrambling. This isn't about all illegals. This isn't about border security. I was looking at this article because I initially was thinking that it was kind of showing that this guy was completely crazy. Apparently, they interviewed one of his coworkers who didn't want to be identified, who didn't speak English either, because there's a video interview attached to the article. It's kind of weird too. They didn't put quotations around anything that she said. I don't know if that's standard procedure when someone's speaking Spanish, or if they're doing it because they were being loose with the translations, which we've seen happen on CNN before. Michael Knowles had a funny video where he showed the person said the exact opposite of what they claimed she said. So I don't speak Spanish, so I have no idea what she was saying in this video. But she was basically talking about how he was acting normal, he wasn't acting weird, which to me, I read that and I'm like, oh, so this guy's a total psychopath. Like, he's completely, he's a stone cold killer. It didn't even bother him that he had murdered somebody, and that there's, national news media crawling around while they're doing this huge investigation. Of course, then down towards the end, towards the end of the video, they get their dig in, asked about Mr. Trump's accusations against undocumented immigrants, which, first of all, Mr. Trump, it's so disrespectful. Not President Trump, Mr. Trump. And I'd love to have someone find me an article where they say Mr. Obama, where they write Mr. Obama in it during his presidency, or even to this day. I'm sure they still wouldn't write Mr. Obama. But anyway, again, we all know how biased the news media is. I just wish people would wake up and admit it, and stop obsessively watching the news like they're getting fed facts when it's clearly not what's happening. Of course, the coworker says she doesn't agree with it because they're bad people of all races. Last time I checked, building a border wall didn't have anything to do with stopping a specific race from getting in. I mean, I didn't realize that the border wall was going to have sections that opened up if you were white and let you in, and then closed if you were anything else. This is the kind of lies, though. This is the kind of lies that they push, and this is what people think. I believe that woman really thinks that the immigration laws they're trying to pass are racist, because she probably watches CNN and CBS and all of these other mainstream media outlets. And the other thing too is, I just want to remind everyone, the same mainstream media who's saying, putting these quotes in about how it's not all illegal immigrants, it's not about border security, it's not about illegal immigration. It's the same mainstream media who, after a school shooting, held a town hall and had people calling Republicans and members of the NRA, saying that they have blood on their hands, and calling them terrorists, and saying that the NRA, having people on their shows saying the NRA is a terrorist organization. That person, the only person that's been involved in a mass shooting in this country that had any affiliation with the NRA, was in Texas, when the person who shot the mass shooter was an NRA instructor. That's as close as an NRA member has gotten to a mass shooting in this country ever. Yet they go on TV and call them a terrorist organization, and in the same breath they're going to say, oh, and these people, this undocumented immigrant, which illegal immigrant, he's illegal. He was already breaking a law just by being here, murdered some girl, but it has nothing to do with border security. It has nothing to do with illegal immigration. It's completely absurd. And what really, really gets me angry is the fact that people watch this crap and then spew it off like it's fact. Spew it off like they're gaining some kind of knowledge from it. I mean, I know people that watch this crap and watch CNN and stuff because they think it makes them smart. They think it makes them smarter. And they end up just looking like idiots because you can't defend any of this stuff. You can't defend any of the crap that they spew. And it's so infuriating. I mean, I always tell people this story where I remember seeing at one point Fox News blatantly lie about something Obama was doing, and this was later in his, or actually it was probably early in his second term. So he'd been president for a while. He'd screwed up enough stuff. He had been a horrible president for long enough. There was no reason to lie. And I pulled back, and I to this day don't watch that much Fox News because of that. Because I don't need that. I don't need you feeding me lies. I want you to tell me what's going on and show me why. I don't care about your political views. I don't care about your political spin that you're trying to put on it. And it's almost impossible to find that anymore.